Check if I turn my phone down.
त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः।
And on YouTube, and also really delighted to have real people in real life present here. Thank you for taking the time and coming tonight. So we're very lucky to have Philip with us, who's going to also talk a little bit more in depth. So the plan for the program tonight is that we will go through the little bit of explanation of the chart of the subtle system within us, introduce Shri Mataji, who started this meditation and why she started this meditation, and then we'll go through our realization. And after that, Philip will take us through another deeper meditation and clearing, and also he will talk a little bit about one of the chakras within us, explain a little bit more. And the idea, the plan is for you to go home tonight and have a bit of a clue about what to do tonight and tomorrow morning, and feel comfortable and confident enough to be able to get up tomorrow morning and then do a little bit of it yourself. So we hope it will work out. We'll start now briefly just explaining the chakra chart that is here, this chart. That's the subtle system within us. And that's also sort of a map of mankind as we've evolved. So it's sort of the evolutionary stages through which human beings have prospered or grown through. You can see at the base of the spine, there's the coiled area. That is the sacrum bone within us. So each one of us has that special energy called Kundalini present in that sacrum bone. I think we may just need to mute somebody, Vara. Thank you. And each one of us has that mothering energy within us called the Kundalini, 3.5 coils, and it's there waiting to be awakened within us. Also, if you see the 3 channels on the subtle system, the blue line, yellow line, and then the one in the center. The blue on the left side is to do with our emotions, our feelings, empathy, love. And the one on the right side is our line of action. So those are the 2 aspects of a personality. You see some people, they're quite lethargic and quiet and shy. The other opposite is where people tend to be quite confident, extroverted, very good at organizing. Problem happens in humanity, or as human beings we are, when we get stretched to those extremes. If you become too much on either of those aspects of your personality, that's when the imbalance happens. So as the Kundalini rises, and this is where Shri Mataji stepped in to save humanity and mankind. That's her picture here. She started this easy way of meditation. That's why it's called Sahaja Yoga, union with our divine aspect. It's a very ancient knowledge, but Shri Mataji made it really easy and accessible to mankind, where she allowed us to get our realization straight away. And then we go home and work on our chakras. In the past, people could get their realization, but they had to work at chakra one step at a time. And it was a very long process, took decades to clear out each chakra at a time. But now that's done straight away. So she wanted people to have their realization straight away. You still have to be part of your families, you're still part of communities, you still have to go to work, but the change has to start from within, and that's what she wanted. So she spent her life traveling, giving these realizations en masse all around the world, and now it continues. Also, those chakras, each chakra has a quality, and they're connected on our hands, on our fingertips. So that's how we know where the problem is within us. So if your fingers tingle a little bit, or you feel a bit of heat sensation, that is the chakras within you communicating and telling you where the problem is and how to work it. But that's the theory part, and we won't dwell too much on the theory. The plan is to feel it, and that is where Sahaja Yoga is really special. Right, Philip? It is the feeling, that you experience within you, and that's what stays. Each one of us has our own personal connection with the Kundalini. How quickly or how strongly the Kundalini rises is entirely up to you and your desire. And so we will go through the realization, and we're lucky enough, I've got a fantastic tech person sitting here on my right. And so we are going to get Shri Mataji to give us a realization, which is really fantastic. I would request people online to please take your shoes off if you can. And you can sit wherever comfortably, on your favorite chair, on the ground, whatever is comfortable. So we've all got our shoes off here. And we will open our hands. That is the form of receiving it. And you can place them on your lap. And Shri Mataji will take us, and she usually gets us to work on our left side. And that is a side of emotion. So we use our right hand, which is the hand of action, on the left side. and Shri Mataji will guide us. And if you feel you're not sure and you get lost, just open your eyes and watch. You could close your eyes because it just helps to bring the attention inside so we don't get too distracted. I would also request those of us wearing glasses, we can take our glasses off. And we are ready whenever you wish. All speed.
Now, put your left hand towards me, comfortably. Put your feet apart from each other. And now, put your right hand on your heart and close your eyes. Here you have to ask me a very important question. In your heart, you ask me a question as you would ask a computer. You can call me Shri Mataji or Mother, whatever you like. Mother, am I the spirit? Ask the question. In your heart, not loudly. 3 times, ask in your heart, not loudly. Mother, am I the spirit? You have to only ask in your heart. If you are the spirit, you become your own guide, you become your own master, you become your own guru. So now take down your right hand into the upper portion of your abdomen on the left hand side. And here you have to ask another question 3 times, not loudly, in your heart. Mother, am I the spirit? Mother, am I my own master? Mother, am I my own master? Ask this question 3 times. Am I my own master? I have told you that I respect your freedom and the pure knowledge cannot be forced on you. So please take your right hand in the lower portion of your abdomen and say it 6 times, asking me, Mother, please give me pure knowledge. I cannot force on you. You have to ask in your free will. As soon as you ask for the pure knowledge, the Kundalini starts moving upward. So now we have to nourish the higher centers with our self-confidence. Raise your right hand in the upper portion of your abdomen. Press it hard on the left hand side. And here with full confidence you have to say 10 times in your heart, not loudly. Mother, I am my own master. Please say this 10 times. Mother, I am my own master. I told you at the very outset that the greatest truth about you is that you are not this body, you are not this mind, you are not these conditionings, emotions, nor this ego, but you are the spirit, you are the pure spirit. So now raise your right hand onto your heart and ask here, or say with full confidence 12 times, Mother, I am the spirit. Just say it without any hesitation. Say it 12 times, please. For your information, you have to know that a divine power is the source of knowledge, is the ocean of knowledge, is the ocean of love. It is the ocean of peace and ocean of bliss. But above all, it is the ocean of forgiveness. So you cannot commit any mistake which cannot be dissolved by the power of this ocean of forgiveness. So please raise your right hand in the corner of your neck and your shoulder. Push it back as much as possible and turn your head to your right. And with full confidence, please say 16 times. Full confidence in your heart. Mother, I am not guilty at all. All right? As I told you before, that you have to forgive everyone. And those who say it is difficult, they must know that it is a myth whether you forgive or don't forgive. But if you don't forgive, then you play into the wrong hands and get yourself tortured by yourself. So please forgive. In general, everyone, not counting how many people you have to forgive, what you have to forgive, but just say, by raising your hand and putting it on top of your forehead across, putting down your head as much as possible, resting on your hand. Please say, with an open heart, please say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Please say it. Please say, otherwise it is difficult later on for me. I have to clear out everybody's agya and it takes too much time then. So best is to say it from your heart. After all, you are not going to miss your self-realization for that. Now, take back your right hand on the back side of your head and put your head on it, resting on it, upward. Here you have to say for your own satisfaction, O Divine, if I have done any mistakes, please forgive me. But don't feel guilty. Don't count your mistakes, don't think about them. In general you have to say, O Divine, please forgive me if I have done any mistakes or anything wrong, anything against you. Now, stretch your palm. Stretch your palm and put the center of your palm on top of the fontanelle bone area, which was a soft bone in your childhood. Now, put down your head properly. And here, push back your fingers as far as possible. Please push back. This is very important. And now put a pressure on your scalp and move your scalp slowly 7 times clockwise. Here again I respect your freedom and I cannot force self-realization on you. So here you have to say 7 times, bending your head properly and pressing it hard, moving 7 times. Mother, please give me my self-realization. Please ask 7 times, please.
Just slowly open your eyes, hands in your lap, and to see how you feel on your hands, whether it's very gentle, cool air blowing on your hands, or take your attention to the top of your head and see how you feel on top. Some of us may also feel a little bit of heat coming through, and that's normal because as the Kundalini rises, when she cleanses, if there are any obstructions within us, we do experience a bit of heat on our Sahasrara, which is on top of our head. So if you just open your eyes slowly and see, and just watch and notice whether your thoughts have stopped in your head. Or some of us feel our breathing slows down a little bit and our shoulders relax and we feel a little calmer within us. And that is the first step as the Kundalini rises. She allows us to just get comfortable and at ease with us. And this was a long process of raising our Kundalini. What I might do is just show us how to do it in a shorter way, which is what you will do at home. So we use our hands, and this is the exercise we do before and after. We bring our left hand in front of us, facing that way, and the right hand rotates in a clockwise direction. And you just watch your left hand, bring it up to the top of your head, and you tie a knot. And we will do that 3 times for the 3 channels within us, the blue, the yellow, and the central one. So for that. Second time again, nice and slow, watching your attention and your left hand, bring it up to the top of your head, and we tie 2 knots. So this is something one does at the beginning and at the end of each meditation. So Ram, it's going out the other way, yeah, that way. And tip your head up and we tie 3 knots. And then the next thing is the bandhan, which is the bond of protection. Now that our chakras are awakened, we need to protect them. So again, use the hand of action, starting from your left, over the top of your head to your right and back. That's 1. And we do that 7 times for the 7 chakras. So that's 2 and 3 for the 4th chakra, for the 5th, for the 6th, and the 7th. So we will do that again at the end of this program, so you get a bit of an idea how to do it. But I was also going to use Philip, who we're very lucky to have here. Philip, I didn't quite get to mention about the thoughtlessness and the importance of it. So before you tell us about the void, would you just like to explain a little bit about it?
Well, thank you, Gulshan, and welcome to you all, wherever you may be. To me, from my experience, the thoughtlessness is the most important part of Sahaja Yoga, because once the Kundalini comes up, as you can see on this map, it goes up the central channel, passes through that forgiveness point, number 6, which is called the Agya chakra. It's situated in the brain. The nature of the Kundalini, she passes through, she opens that center and goes to the top, giving the yoga the union. Once this is opened, and you may have felt it on the first experience, or if you practice it, you will feel quieter. The reason is that once that is opened there, that gives us the ability to be in the moment. Prior to self-realization or yoga or moksha or enlightenment, whichever you may want to call it, we're in the left and right. The yellow channel or the blue channel. That's the human quandary.
Sorry, Philip, I'm just going to interrupt and say, could you bring your chair a bit closer in, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the central thing, and through this awakening, hopefully, you'll felt a touch of silence. And the important thing is continue the practice and let it grow. Because Kundalini's open the central channel, which is in the center, it's balancing point. And as we meditate, this strengthens, this widens, this opens more, and our attention can be much more in that thoughtless awareness or the nirvichara. The real meditation has got nothing to do with the mind. It's got to do with no thoughts. I'm not talking about being unaware. We're talking about being thoughtlessly aware. We're totally aware, and much more, because you'll find your attention is not being battered by the past thinking or the forward thinking, which is a really big human problem. We have to admit that. Once that is opened by the Kundalini, that's to be developed through the meditation. And that's the beauty of it, is that we can feel much more relaxed, much more joyful, because we're not being battered by superego, left, or ego, right. They're there, they're still qualities, but you'll find that thoughtless awareness. I don't want to ramble on about it, but let it develop and you'll get the benefits, you'll feel it. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And that's what you may have felt. Sometimes it's just a little tiny moment, but you know it when the thoughts settle down and you feel a little bit of silence within yourself. And you talked a little bit about balance. And I was going to also ask, why is balance so important to human beings? And I suppose that's related to where the balance is within us as well.
Well, we only got to look at humanity today. We're all over the place. And that's the left and right. You can only move in left or go to the past and get into the subconscious or the emotions, or we can go to the right and get into the ego or pushy stuff. The important thing is the middle, the balance. And the beautiful thing about Kundalini, when it's awakened, you learn the techniques of Sahaja Yoga, you can work on yourself. And one of the big things that Shri Mataji said is to become our own teacher, become our own guru. not in a bombastic way where we know everything, where we're looking after ourselves. And as you construct this within you, because of your experience, you're free and you want to show it to others. You've got that system within us, and we have to be in the middle. The void itself is an area where it was presented very early on in our creation, actually before we became humans. And as we moved into the human area, we were given the rules over a long period of time by 10 primordial masters who tried to tell us, we didn't take much notice, of how to be in the centre, because at a particular time, as Muhammad said, you'll get your resurrection and your hands will speak and they'll show you, you'll bear witness against you. They'll actually show you your internal. And the beautiful thing about Shri Mataji, and she's constantly said it at her programs, is that we, once we understand this within ourselves, become our own teacher. And one of the big things about it is being in balance, not too far to left, or we get upset and emotional and lethargic, or we push ourselves into the right and become overactive and aggressive. So they're the extremes. Centre one is the balancing, which the Kundalini does. And as we evolve and meditate, that strengthens and that grows and establishes itself within us. And it's an ongoing thing. And as we practice, which there's a delight in the practice of doing it. And then it grows even more. It really shows your inner beauty, and it really does show you how we're rather a remarkable creature, even though we don't often display it. We've got all this in us. And the beauty that Shri Mataji brought to the earth in 1970 was to show people of everywhere or what is available for them internally, which has been talked about. And that's the beauty of this. And balancing is simply being in the middle.
And you will show us the balancing.
Yeah, you want to do it now or later?
We will go home well balanced tonight. Well, there is a talk of Shri Mataji as well.
Right.
And so shall we watch the talk?
Yep.
Take us through a meditation.
Later, yeah.
And then show us the balancing. So our viewers, our participants, as well as the viewers, when you go home, then you know what to do. Would that be?
No, I'll move out of the way again.
Okay, thank you. And if you just play us the talk, please. Thank you. So again, for the talk, while Shri Mataji talks, if you just open up your hands and watch her and see how you feel at the end of it. Her talks are very powerful and they're very cleansing as well. And a lot of questions we have, she answers them. But if you do still have questions, hold them and we'll answer them at the end.
I've already told you such a lot about the Guru principle. In the Guru principle, we have seen people who came on this earth. They were all mostly born realized. Actually, and they never gave realization to anyone. They were all born as realized souls, and they became as Sufis, and they are called by different names. But they were not given self-realization. They had it, and because of their self-realization, as they have so much of knowledge. And that is what they tried to impart to people. They knew all about chakras and everything. somehow, must be in their last lives achievements that they knew it. Perhaps some of them were disciples of other very great people. I don't know how they had full idea as to what is self-realization is, what do we achieve after self-realization. Now the only person I think, Muhammad Sahib, is the one who has talked about Miraj is the ascent. Miraj is the ascent through Kundalini. Of course, in India they did talk about it, but in any other country they didn't say so clearly that there is something called Miraj. And not only that he talked of Miraj, but also he talked of the resurrection time when your hands will speak. Two things he said. First is your hands will speak when you will get your realization. It's very great thing to say, because that is how you can ascertain and you can be sure that you have got your realization. That's the sign he gave. And the second thing he talked about Miraj. And the white horse, he said, was nothing but the Kundalini. He didn't use the word Kundalini, but he said it's a white horse. So, he's the one who knew what should happen to people when they get realization. That is a great revelation to all of you, and it's of such a help to Sahaja Yoga. You are all realized souls because you can feel the vibrations, one thing. And secondly, how you have become, he explained very clearly. We have so many saints in India, so many of them, one better than the other. And whatever they talk, whatever they say, is so remarkable, that actually we human beings, I think, were very dumb that they never realized it, that we have so many saints here. Even in Turkey we had Sufis, where it's a Sunni religion. There too we had so many Sufis. All over the world we had realized souls. They were not incarnations, but they were born realized souls. So, you see, their explanation and everything is very good because they were human beings. And whatever they said were very much good for human beings to understand. Because an incarnation said something, it is something from the beyond. And this new, I should say, advance of the people who were really human beings and had become realized souls. And how they have talked about various things is very remarkable. Firstly, most of them were poets. And we had Kabir in India. We don't know how he was born, where he was born, who were his parents, and all. It's absolutely not known. Despite that, you can only make out from his poetry that he was a great, great surgeon. And how he has described things, very interesting. And he brought forth so many fundamental truths in his poetry, and he talked about it. He didn't belong to any religion as such. When he died, there was a fight between Hindus and Muslims. What should we do with his body? And they say when they lifted the sheet that was covering him, they found flowers, two types of flowers, one for the Hindus and one for the Muslims. So that's how we solved the problem of this stupid fight people were having. In Sahaja Yoga, we are not belonging to any such stupid religions. We belong to one religion, is Vishwa Nirmala.
And all the stupidity of all these religions we should really throw away. Because what you just see now today, everywhere, every religious group is fighting each other, beating each other, finishing each other. I mean, it's not the way a religious persons should be like that. But they're killing each other. I mean, all kinds of horrible things there. Unbelievable how they can do that. Such cruelty. And first thing is, for a yogi or for a saint, cruelty is absolutely not there. They'll sacrifice their life. They'll do anything, but they'll not be cruel to another person. Now, so those who in the name of God and religion are cruel are actually not at all by any chance are religious. So this is what the perversion of religion is. We all should understand, if you belong to Sahaja Yoga, then for us kindness, sweetness, compassion, love is the main quality you should have. And if you don't have that, then we are not Sahaja Yogis. So we are of different clan, I should say, different personalities who are really realized souls, who are above all these nonsensical ideas and who have vibrations. But as I said that now you must spread it. Because I've come on this earth just for people to get their emancipation, their realization. And unless and until all the people who believe in their emancipation get it, I won't be happy. There are many who do believe, but not yet got their realization. So you have to work, and you'll be amazed, you'll find people who are very anxious to get their realization.
Bring your chair in. Thank you. Now, Shri Mataji talked about some of the special people, personalities or incarnations that came to tell us about our void principle. Philip, would you like to take us through a little bit more on these the special people that came and who they were and their teachings? So again, you don't have to remember this. This is just for you to know, and then we'll give you enough material to read at home too.
It's the one incarnation that came at the beginning of when humanity started to come out of Neanderthal monkey into the human. First one that came was Rajjanaka, and then incarnated 10 times after that to the early this century. I'll say the names because Rajjanaka, India, Abraham, Palestine, Moses in Egypt. I'm going to read out 3 of his 10 commandments, and if the world is stuck to this, we'll be in a lot better place. You shall not commit murder. You shall not steal. You shall not covet thy neighbour's goods. Now, wouldn't it be better off if we followed that? Chose not to, though. There was Zarathustra from Persia, Confucius from China, Lao Tse from China, and I love one of his quotes. He says, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. I love it. And this is what this is about, is understanding this and mastering this in the sense of interpreting yourself and doing the things, particularly through meditation, of adjusting and coming to the center. We had Socrates in Greece, Muhammad in Mecca. Muhammad, one of his quotes is, 1 hour's meditation on the work of the Creator is better than 70 years of prayer. He's talking about that greater thing. And we have Guru Nanak, who was earlier, who was once again head of the start of the Sikh religion. Yes, right. From
The first
Punjab
guru.
in India.
Yeah.
And then you got Sahaja Yoga from India, and he says, see the divine in the human being. And he he was the last one that come, but they all come just to show, basically, as I said before, how to keep yourself in the centre. And if you follow these simple rules, you won't wobble off onto the right or left. I had another lovely quote here from Shri Mataji, I have to say. She says, so be careful. It's easy to be an angel, but difficult to maintain it. I think it's beautiful. And well, she's shown us and taught these things to us. And once you get your realization, develop and understand the system, we just pass it on. As she said, it's the enlightened candle, enlightening the other. And the guru, in the true sense, is the one that indicates humanity and teaches the fact, once again, of that central thing. Not too far left, not too far right. And as you practice this and you develop the central one through Kundalini, through your meditation, you'll actually start to feel that. You'll start to feel the quietness as that evolves. And you may feel something from tonight. Whatever spark you feel, take it up, do the meditation and let it develop. And I'll finish with a quote from Mother, Shri Mataji. She says that this is the germination of the seed. Remembering that's the tree of life within us. Germinating the seed, you got to let it grow into being the plant. And that's a spontaneous thing. We let it grow by letting the Kundalini work within us through our meditation. And that's how it happens. This really doesn't play a part. All we have to do is have that pure desire. Okay, let's see if this works. And let it occur. And we'll show you the practices to do that.
Yeah.
They're important.
Yeah. So the reason why meditation is important is because each time you meditate, the Kundalini comes up and she strengthens. And the stronger the Kundalini gets, the easier it is for her to fix our shortcomings in our chakras within us. And it needs to be not quantity, but quality. So you don't have to sit for longer periods of time, short period, but not thinking. Find a time and a space, and then you just do that for short time. And Philip's now going to show us how to do it.
Do the meditation.
Do that,
okay.
Please, yeah.
Once again, we go back to what Bill showed us before. We take a candle, a picture. The candle is the light off of this chakra, which is really valuable for us. The light really helps here. We take our hands, raise our Kundalini up to the top and tying it up. Remembering the Kundalini is intelligent and she'll respond to what we're doing. One tie at the top, up for the second one, 2 knots at the top for 2 channels. Third one, 3 knots at the top. We always place on the bandhan. Start at the left-hand side of the right hand, and over and back is 1, over and back is 2. We go up to 7 for the 7 centers, the 7 chakras. The bandhan is basically a bond of love that helps us retain that attention. We open our hands on our lap, and remembering that the Kundalini is doing it for us, we close our eyes and just see if we can move our attention without forcing anything and let it drift to the top of the head, which is above our thoughts. Just where the Sahasrara is, the golden crown we have on top of our head, which the Kundalini opens, allowing that silence. Take our attention to the top. If we have thoughts, I forgive. I forgive. By forgiving, we let go of past and future. I forgive. See if we can keep our attention up the top, not by forcing, by following the Kundalini up in a gentle way, and let it happen. Sahaja, spontaneous. We should try to do this each day, at least for a quarter of an hour or so, and let it happen. If we can keep our attention on the top, our own crown, our own Sahasrara.
There's some music for us, please. Thank you.
The attention will wander. Don't be hard on ourselves. Just gently bring it back to the top. Don't push or give up. They're the opposites. Just bring it back to the top. We can take our right hand and lift our Kundalini several times, just to keep our attention at the top, and let the music be heard at the top.
Great. We finish up. We are going to raise our Kundalini again and place ourselves in Bandhan. So the left hand comes in front and we rotate the right hand around. So the hand comes in and out, bring it in and out. That's the direction. And we tie a knot. Second time, left hand travels straight, right hand rotates around it, and 2 knots. And the third time, 3 knots. And now we place the bandhan. So this is the exercise we'll do at the end of the meditation, starting from your left with your right hand. Hand is open over the top of your head to the right and back. And we do that 7 times for the 7 chakras within us. And while we're just in that state, you can keep your eyes open if you wish. You can close your eyes. Just bring your hands up and see how you feel on your hands. You can close your eyes, and this is just going to be for a moment. Take your attention to the top of your head and see how you feel on top of your head. We're looking for a very gentle, cool breeze on the palms of a hand and on top of a head on the fontanelle bone, the Sahasrara, which is the 1,000-petaled lotus on top of the head. And if you're feeling heat, that's okay too, not to worry, because that will subside as you keep meditating. You can open your eyes. And as Philip had mentioned a little bit earlier, the Kundalini has been ignited. Thank you to Shri Mataji, this great gift that she's given to mankind. We all have achieved a realization within 10 minutes of that time it took us. But now for it to grow, we request you all online and in person to please spend 5-10 minutes in the evening and in the morning. Find a time that suits you. If morning's not good, afternoon, find a little space and sit down and then just give yourself a few moments to let this energy grow and help us, help you, you know. So if you have any questions online, type away and man here will let us know. Do you have any questions as well? Please ask and they can be answered. And also we'll give you a chart so you can take a little bit. Any questions? No. Okay, looks like everyone's happily meditating online. We would
Everyone try above the head.
Sure.
up there to verify they can feel a cool breeze there. And to look at our attention to see if it's still. You probably find it is. And that Kundalini comes out as the breath, the Numa, a cool breeze. Can you feel that there? Might be quite subtle, as you may be feeling in the hands as well, as a sign that she has awakened, the Mother Kundalini. But try a little higher.
Right, you can bring your hand down. So that concludes us this evening tonight. We would like to thank our viewers online. Thank you for joining. And Lynn will be back in a few weeks. She's coming back, but for now we're just managing her place here. Thank you for joining. Good luck with your meditations, and we'll see you again next Monday. And to you, we shall give you some things to take home. But if you have any questions, if you have any queries, please ask. There's enough people to help you, and I'll just get you the paperwork.
So how do we practice this? Is there like, in your paper that you're giving us?
Yes.
On the brochure that is on there is the instructions. Just set yourself up, a quiet place. Early morning is probably the best, but anytime you can find a quiet place in the day, I'd say take about a quarter of an hour. Raise your Kundalini.